You motherfuckers didn't see this coming. Bonus episode. Blah, blah, blah. Matt and I didn't really get to tell our ghost stories. We told a couple of our real life horror stories, and not really even those. And Matt told one of his ghost stories. George didn't get to tell any, and Chris didn't get to his paranormal stories, which he has a good bit of. So this bonus episode, which is coming out on Halloween, will be dedicated to spookiness. It's just a little extra bonus episode. Get your little spooky scaries in, and probably some laughs.
Spooky, scary skeleton.
Matt, do you want to kick us off? Actually, we'll have Chris kick us off, because I believe he's got to get out of here soon.
Yeah, okay. So, I've had shit happen my entire fucking life, dude. I've had, since I was 8 years old, I've had paranormal shit, whatever you want to call it. I think, what I believe it is demonic activity. The first thing that ever happened to me, I was living in this neighborhood called Apache Ridge in Alabaster, Alabama. And it's actually it's over Indian burial ground, the entire neighborhood. So,
sometimes
we had
the ground turns sour. That's
cemetery. Yeah, we had one night I woke up, I'll never forget, I felt this weight on my chest, and then I felt something grab my legs, slowly pull me out the fucking bed. No one's in the room, and I'm watching this happen, and I can't move anything because I have, sleep paralysis. And then, boom, I hit the ground, and I'm like, oh, shit, and I run to my mom's room. I'm like, Mom! Fucking ghost, help me out of bed, Mom!
And I know your mom well enough.
Yeah.
The house got cleansed.
Yeah. In Jesus' name, Jesus! Yeah, but I've had that happen. I'm trying to think of the scariest ones. One of the scariest ones to me, I was laying in bed, and it was on Halloween night, and I think it was 2012 or 2013, and my parents left the house. They got the animals boarded, so I was literally in the house by myself. I started hearing footsteps, and it was like 1 a.m. I was watching horror movies all night. I was like, oh, it's just in my fucking head.
Very similar. Yeah, it's giving me creeps. Go ahead.
So I keep hearing the footsteps. And I'm like, whatever, it's just in my fucking head. Next thing I hear that fucking bed. Something is scratching the bed, and it is jumping up and down 2 feet in the air. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? But then I just start praying, and it stops. And I'm like, oh, holy shit, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's fucking wild. Well, yeah. I'll take over from here. So I have a good few. They should go by quick. A couple of them are partial dream states, but so I'll start from the beginning. Similar to Chris, ever since I was young, I had paranormal stuff. And when we lived in Petersburg, Virginia, we had this house that was the furniture was wrapped in plastic and everything, and I was sleeping in my parents' bedroom. The dogs were in there. My sister was in her bedroom, and we heard. I was asleep. This I don't remember. This was told to me from my father and my mother. They heard the plastic moving. And they walk out. Dad walks out to check what it is. And they'd been having stuff like this happen for a while now. And he starts yelling, "Get the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck out." And he just hears the plastic, something run across the plastic on the furniture. He's running into the living room, and the door from the living room to the outside opens and just fucking slams. That's that story. I mean, that's pretty much it. But yeah, nobody was in the house. All the animals were asleep in their bedroom. I was asleep in between them. I was a young. I don't even think I was 2. But that was crazy. So we moved to Alabama many years later, and we moved to this house in Pelham, Alabama. And that house, I just constantly dealt with paranormal shit. I wasn't worried about ghosts or anything, but whenever I would go down to that basement, I felt like something was breathing on my neck. I felt something cold. I felt like something was hovering over me. And anytime I would go down there, the only place ever, like, I would go down there. We had a second kitchen downstairs, and Mom would be like, can you go get the milk from downstairs? And I would bolt down those stairs and bolt, Chris lost signal, bolt back up the stairs, and I would feel something running up the stairs behind me. It was pitch black. Part of the house, it was the basement, but it was finished, so part of the house is underground, and it's on a hill, and the other house has sunlight. But it made for very dark when the sun was on the opposite side of the house where it was underneath. So numerous other stories I had in this house. There was one time I was cooking a pizza, house alone. This is similar to Chris's, but the animals weren't boarded. And I hear something upstairs going, I'm like, what the fuck is that? What is my cat doing? And I look down at my ankles. My cat's there. The other cat's there. The 2 dogs are laying down in the living room. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. What is that? And I walked to the way our stairs, I lived upstairs, my room was, and the stairs came down. There was a landing with a railing, and it turned right. And I'm looking up the landing, and I'm like, what was that? And I have a knife in hand because I'm uncomfortable, and I hear slamming, and then I hear, and it's like footsteps running out of my bedroom. And I fucking run to the oven, turn it off, leave the pizza in there, open the oven up, bolt out the house, leave the door unlocked. I ran down the street to my friend's house. I don't know what the fuck happened after that. I couldn't fucking tell you. Same house, though, it was in between that. These are I'm kind of speeding them up, but I got home from school one day, and I walk into the house, and as I'm doing so, I get into my bedroom, and I have a 4-disc CD player with stereos, and it turns on, and it turns itself up, and it starts blaring static. I turn it off. I'm like, I'm weirded out. I'm uncomfortable. Hair's standing up on my arm. And turns itself back on, turns itself all the way back up, blasting static again. I unplug it, it cuts back on, blasting static. I hit the power button, doesn't come back on. That was it. Scared the shit out of me. And then there's only a couple more. One of the ones that scared me, there's 3 more. The 2 that really scared me were partial dreams, but I was laying on my bed one night, and my cat's looking at a corner of my room next to my desk where I had all my models and figurines and shit like that on the desk. And I'm like, Scrappy, what are you staring at? He looks at me, looks back at that corner. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you looking at? Looks at me, looks back at that corner. He won't look away from the corner. And I go to sleep, and I have a dream of watching over my body, essentially, but in that corner where Scrappy was staring, there's a tall silhouette of a figure just standing there watching me with, like, glowingish eyes.
No good.
Same corner. Yeah. What?
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, oh yeah. So, and then I'll finish off with my dream one, but I'm going to tell this other one. So one night, my sheets needed to be washed, my blanket needed to be washed, my comforter. So I take it all downstairs. I grab 3 thin blankets from the closet. I'm really speeding these up. And I wake up in the morning, and all the blankets are thrown across the room. I have a big room. They're thrown opposite side of the room, pretty much part of the room that I never go to because it leads to a part of the attic. And they're all over there. And the only blanket that's left on me is one that I'm holding on, like, pried to me. Hands are up near my jawline, holding onto this blanket when I wake up, like I'm gripping them for my life. So I wake up, get up, walk to the bathroom, see the blankets are in an odd spot. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm going to get a shower in the bathroom across the hall, and I look in the mirror, and I have 4 scratch marks going down my back. I wasn't having sex. I was a young teen. I don't know what they were from. That weirded me out. And the last one, this is the creepiest one to me. I didn't know it was a dream at the time, clearly as most dreams go. I'm laying down in my bed playing video games, and I feel something drop on my head. I wipe it off. Playing my game, feel something drop on my head. I wipe it off, and I look at my hand, and my hand's red. I look up, and there's a mutilated body on my ceiling, all red, like covered in blood. It's legs, arms on top of that, with torso on top of that. No, torso, then arms on top of that, and the head. And when I look up at it, its eyes open up, its head rolls up, looks at me, and its finger lifts to its mouth and goes, shh. And
nope, I'm out.
I run downstairs, and this is still in the dream, and I'm yelling at my mom to get the fuck in the bedroom. We need to fucking leave. We need to leave. And then I see something go overhead of our sunroof, and I just see shadows pass, 3 shadows, on the ground. And I'm like, get the fuck in the room. And then I'm arguing with my dad, and I mean, there was just a ton of creepy shit that happened in the house. Then I woke up sweating, but I mean, that house was non-stop, man, and that dream sticks with me to this day of, like, its fucking bloody hand lifting to its demon. Like, it wasn't a human head. It lifting to its lips and going, shh. That fucking creeped the shit out of me. Matt, what spooky stories do you have?
Well, that kind of makes my spooky stories not as fun.
No,
because all of mine aren't, besides the one I told last episode about the spoon, most of mine aren't anything that happened to me, but things that happened in my house. Speaking
of the spoon, I want to go off on a quick, it's 30 seconds. Your spoon story, how it just flew across the room.
Yeah.
I walked into work the other day at 2 a.m. and a wood chip. I walked through the doors of work and a wood chip flew at my face. I don't know where from.
Yeah, dude.
A hefty wood chip. I don't know where the fuck. I was the first one in the door.
Someone's trying to kill us from another dimension, dude.
It seems.
Yeah, like a ghost really just sitting there waiting.
Dude, my demons haunt me and I haunt them back.
Yeah.
I welcome them now.
He's like, let's get through that door.
I said, bring it. I can take whatever suffering you got. Alright, go ahead, Matt.
I'll tell the one thing. So, the house I live in now, well, my parents' house, I should say, there's always been weird shit that's always gone on in that house. When I was a lot younger, I used to hear people, like, talking at night. When everyone's, like, dead asleep, it's like 2 in the morning, no one's talking. So I started just wearing headphones so I didn't have to hear it anymore, because it spooked me the fuck out. But since then, my little sister got really, really sick, like borderline dead sick. And when that stuff happens, there's a theory that, like, people that are that sick become, like, portals to the other side, and they can essentially see the dead. So some shit's happened with her in the house that's freaked me out. See, she was, like, maybe 6. She's playing in the corner of the room, and my mother and I are sitting on the couch watching TV, and she runs over, the fastest this kid's ever run in her entire life. She runs over the couch, jumps on the couch, she climbs under the covers and goes, I don't want to play in the corner anymore. There's a mean boy in the corner.
Ooh.
Chills up my fucking spine. I was like, nope. So, lo and behold, the house next door, a little boy died of, like, cancer in the house.
Oh my god, dude, I have hair standing up on my arms right now.
My sister's friends lived in that house at the time, so she used to play over there. The little boy followed her home because she could see him. And he wanted to talk to somebody.
That's crazy, dude. That's fucking wild. I've had, like, I've seen stuff. I'm trying to remember if it was Madeline or it wasn't Madeline. Somebody's fucking little brother drew a picture, and it was like some shadowy figure, and it just looked, I mean, for a kid's drawing, it was pretty damn good, and it looked terrifying. And I go, yeah, that's Jimmy. He's been talking to me lately. And they're like, you haven't left the house, and nobody's been here. What are you talking about? That's Jimmy. He's always here. And I was like, nope. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm leaving this fucking house. I'm out. I'm gone. I don't want to talk to Jimmy. I don't like Jimmy.
We will never meet Jimmy.
Yeah, fuck Jimmy. George, do you have any spooky, scary stories for us, or any real life horror stories for us?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Stories?
Unfortunately, I don't have any spooky, paranormal. I've never had any encounters.
Yeah, I would say fortunately so, yeah.
Bring some excitement to my life.
Yeah, true.
But I was working at Firehouse one time, and, you know, I had one of my friends, he was a slicer there, and everybody's always talking about don't, like, cut yourself on a slicer, don't cut yourself on a slicer.
I already don't like where this is going.
Yeah, one day, he was like, nah, I've always, like, got it. I've done it for, like, over a year now. And, he had it turned off. he was just wiping off like the dirt that he just got finished slicing.
Mm.
And he thought that since the blade's off, it's not going to come that bad. He didn't like put the blade back in, so he like shoved his hand forward trying to clean where you placed the meat at, and split his hand like a piece of meat, and took his pointer finger on his right hand and literally split it in half.
Jeez.
So, like, there was basically a fingernail side of his finger, and there was a fingerprint side of his finger. And he basically just grabs it. He has to go try to
what a baller.
Yeah, he grabs it and tries to put it back and hold it together for a little bit and make sure it doesn't keep like leaking out the blood, and eventually has to.
You guys think this is okay, or should I go to a hospital?
He goes up to the owner and explains to her about it, and
she goes, "You gotta finish the shift."
She would be that one. Basically, at the end of that, she never actually never helped pay for it. Yeah, she never even helped pay for the hospital trip, even though work comp. But now that he came back, he got it all stitched up. We came back the next day. I was like, dude, how bad is it? And his finger legit just looks like...
He lifts up his hand, but there's no hand.
It's
alright. It's not too bad.
Right. It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
They looked like, for the stitching, looked like it was, dude, I don't know where he went to get it. It must have been the cheapest place, because it looked like it was so off-centered. It looked like they grabbed someone else's bottom of a finger and attached it to his finger.
Christ.
And you still see like the stitches on those sides, and it literally looked like a Frankenstein finger. And I was like, dude, that's never getting fixed.
I was gonna go out with one of my dad's stories, but that kind of tops that. I'll still tell it, but
I was saying a year later, I talked to him. It still looks the exact same.
Is this 8-Ball?
No, this is Elliot.
Oh, poor Elliot.
Yeah, he got fucked being the slicer.
Oh,
fuck that.
And
so my dad. Sorry, go ahead.
I got one quick one. Also, yeah, when I was 6, I was sleeping in my bed and woke up to a millipede about 2 inches from my face, with his antennas just like flickering back and forth in the wind, like about to like touch my face. And at that moment, my body just becomes like paralyzed in fear, and I just start screaming for my dad. Eventually, my dad comes in. And, as a guy...
I got a stricture wrapped around me. Turns out it wasn't a millipede. We had an African rock python in our house, and it was choking the life out of me.
That's how I felt waking up to it. But and then my dad just comes up, he's like, oh, the stupid little millipede, chucks out the fucking door. Like it's nothing. But ever since that day, millipedes, centipedes, and snakes have always kind of...
weirded you out? Oh, that's funny that you're friends with me, because I'm like, Scorpion, hold on, brown recluse, let me pick it up.
Fuck that.
That makes me think of, I actually have 2 more stories, and then we'll call this a bonus to EP, but,
no. Okay.
So,
taking a picture of the scorpion in your hand. That was
we can put that up on the Instagram. But, so, whenever I'd wake up at night, every few nights I would see this 2 glowing red lights on the ceiling, and I would stare at them, and eventually I would convince myself that it was just a fire alarm so I could go to sleep. There wasn't a fire alarm there, so I don't know what the fuck it was.
Oh, God.
George just left. So, the other thing I was going to say is one of my father's stories from his work. And it's similar to George's, but George has honestly upped it. My dad, you know how, like, when you're turning on a hose, it's got the nozzle, and it's usually got, like, the plus sign turn, like the going 4 directions?
Yeah.
So, his boss was doing it, and from what I understand, these turned with more pressure. So if, like, you let go, it would start spinning fast. And his boss was turning it, and the wedding ring he was wearing got caught. Ripped his fucking finger off.
Jesus. Fuck.
His whole ring finger. And my dad had to run over there, pick him up, pick his finger up, carry his finger, put his finger on ice, and I don't remember whether or not he got his finger reattached. But
Jesus.
that's a long story made short, but yeah. Crazy the shit that can happen on the job, right?
Yeah, dude.
Alright, guys. We hope you enjoyed this bonus EP. You guys have a spooktacular Halloween. And we'll figure out what we're going to do for Thanksgiving and what we're going to talk about. We're going to try to find a theme based around that. But, hey, you guys have a lovely Halloween and an even lovelier week.
Bye.
Bye.